Hello and welcome along to the Rising of the Shield Hero, episode 14 review. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute it. There we go. From the beginning of the episode, I can gather it's going to be a two-parter. The episode starts off with what's her face, Princess Millimark, mine. They actually show what she does to put the forest on fire. And obviously she's getting her underlings to kind of like do what I say to find the devil of the shield. And so kind of there's a close-up shot of her kind of walking towards camera, and then kind of clammies it in her mouth, and then there's a shot of the gang, Raftalia looking on in horror at the forest, and obviously Melty and Philo, kind of stoic looking, kind of like. So then they decide to walk off away from the fire because obviously Nafumi realizes that if he goes anywhere near it, he'll be caught. And then in the very next scene is Nafumi with his hood up, buying some stuff from a vendor, and he looks over to see that he gives the money to the. Hang on a minute. He gives the money to the vendor. And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll get you your change. But when the guy turns around to get his change, Nafumi has to walk off because, like I say, at the minute Nafumi is apparently a fugitive. Um, it's just a couple of scenes. The next scene is the soldiers saying, "Have you seen this man?" And it's like a very crude drawing of Nafumi, not in the best of light, like. And then there's like some group chat between the group. And it goes straight after they finish talking about Slitvelt. It flashes back to all of them round the campfire at night, that previous night, in the, well, not the campfire, all in that kind of cave. And Melty says that we need to go and see the Queen. So it's like they're still doing that, and obviously Nifumi brings up a map. And then they decide, right, we're going to still head for Slitvelt. And then it kind of goes into the kick-ass opening. And then what it is they come across a village while they're on their way to Slitvelt, and it's a demi-human one. And all the while that this is happening, Raftalia's kind of like, right, looking at them and remembering her past. And throughout the episode, it flashes through there, like putting her past and that, and we get to see what she went through and how she ended up with the slave trader. And a minute, Melty turns around and says that they basically should, at 6 minutes 27 in, Melty says that they should kind of speak to the Lord of the region. Now, he's this guy that Nafumi mentions he can't sense, and they didn't hear him sneaking up on him. This guy's alright, he's kind of feeding them and that, and Nafumi's like, we can't stay, and all that kind of stuff. There's a little moment at night time, where Raftalia says, try not be so So I try not to be so kind of like hard on Melty because she's trying her best. But obviously her boy Nafumi can't help that. There's a nice wee scene between Philo and Melty. They're talking about this, that, and the next thing. And then Philo's like, why don't you just get Master to dote on you like he dotes on us? And Melty's like, no, 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 no. And I'm like, yeah, this is definitely a different culture that's written the show. And the whole lolicon thing. Great. And then obviously at night time it flicks back to the central city of Melomark. And you've got Princess Melomark, Bitchface, talking to our feather. And the feather's like, this can't happen again. To which it goes straight back to the gang and they're sleeping throughout the night. And obviously Melty is kind of a wee bit kind of doubtful on that. And then if it puts her mind at ease, obviously, and says, obviously, there's stuff you can do that I can't. And she goes to bed in that. She. This is what I like about Nifumi. Everyone's against him. Well, but not everyone, but people that kind of believe Princess Melamark and her father, they're kind of like against him and they're like, always try to find him and do stuff to him. But all the way through that, he's just a nice guy. He realises that if people are going to mess him about, all these people that he's gathering on his side, they've got some sway, like, because the lord of this region that they were in, he does something really cool later on. He, obviously before that, there's a montage of Raftalia having her nightmares again about the past and everything. Melty, on the other hand, she helps the shield hero hide in the kitchen, and this is obviously like brilliant. And Raftalia's like her tail's right up in that when she sees the guy that was mistreating her. He's a real piece of work as well. All the time that Nafumi and that are hiding in the cupboard, she's got her hand on her sword ready to just pounce on him. And 2 times Nafumi has to put his hand on her hand that's on top of the sword. Is it to say, no, don't mess up what Melty's doing for us here. She's technically helping in her own little way to help Nafumi get away. So you can see the rage building in Raftalia's face when this other royal dude takes Melty to his mansion and he's going, she's like, please take me back to the capital so I can clear the shield hero's name. And he's like, very well, and all that kind of stuff, and whatever he said. For some strange reason, Philo cannot be found in the next scene. And Nafumi's like, well, to hell with this. Get out here now, Philo, that's an order. And obviously that activates the seal on her. And obviously he had to do that because he was actually trying to find her. And then all of them decide that they're going to go and save Melty. And there's a shot that I'll put in the thumbnail of this video where Philo and Raftalia are like, right, what do we do? And Raftalia turns around and she says, I'm ready to face my past. And the thing turns to Raftalia and he's like, yes, I completely understand. They get near the castle mansion thing and the demi-humans, they're rappelling on the front door of the church. And Melt is like, why are they doing that? And he's like, they're nothing but flies. And I'm like, oh my god. Seriously, this guy's up his own arse. And Melt is kind of not telling him anything. And then they bring the royal dude into the room that they're in. And he grabs him by his hair like this, right? And he's like, tell me where the shield hero, devil of the shield is. And he's like, sorry, I don't know who you're talking about. The only person I know is the hero of the shield. And obviously, like, the guy doesn't like that, so he kind of like throws him down on the ground. But he gives a determined smile to Melty. Next scene, and they're saying that when they break in, when the heroes break into his mansion, they're like, "Don't move," and he grabs Melty by the hair, and he's like, he's got a blade up against her neck, and he's like, "I'll make her head roll if you move," and then he's like, Nafumi's like, "Right," and he takes it completely situation. He takes it completely, and he's on advantage, and he goes, "So you're saying we don't have to move?" And then you hear his shield activating, and he says, "Airstrike shield," and the big green thing comes up, and it goes in between this guy and Melty, releasing his grasp on her hair. And she's like, "Why did you come back from me?" And he's like, "What?" Oh, there's my cat, ladies and gentlemen. She's wanting to be part of the vlog. uh, now, cool shot of Nafumi just sitting there, standing there going, well, I don't know any hero that would go back on his friends, so he rescues her there. And then it's like quiet, and the very next scene is Raftalia staring him down. And they try, Philo and Melty are trying to stop her, but Nafumi holds them back like out with his hand. And all the while he's like back, and he's whipping her with a whip. He smacks her right leg and then her right cheek, and he's like, "Get away from me, filthy demi-human." I think that's what he says. And I'm like, this is their form of racism. And she says something to him that I can't quite remember. She draws her sword, and he falls to the ground as to say, "Please, please, please, show mercy." And she just said, she has the sword at his throat, right here. And she says something about the demi-humans, like his past. And he's like, "You never gave them mercy." And obviously the episode kind of thing is off with Nofumi just looking on and not getting involved. Because I honestly thought that Raftalia was going to get him with the sword. Not Nofumi, but the slave guy, the royal guy, that obviously has been responsible for one of Raftalia's friends in the demi-human community dying. And then obviously kind of the last shot is of Nofumi's face watching what's happening. And then it heads into the credits. From what I can tell, just bear with me a second. Now you got your obvious credits kind of rolling. Nice wee shot of Thalia, it's like kind of smiling with Nofumi. Beautiful art. That's my cup of coffee in the background, by the way. I had a really strong coffee to watch this. Because it was like, I've watched the English dub because I can't be thinking maybe reading it this time in the morning, time in the afternoon when I watched it. Obviously, I need to put my glasses on. Right, next episode, episode 15. Random Japanese symbols that I don't understand. So yeah, good episode that I can tell is going to be a two-parter. It's setting up the world quite well. Good on the character development for this episode. Kind of like it was kind of like a Raftalia Melty episode, building their characters. I'm saying quite a lot, but that's what I do to. So the cat's just looking at me as if to say, "Who are you talking to?" Oh, just in case you guys are wondering, she's just right there. She sits right here on my stomach when I'm doing episode reviews. So, yeah, like I said, I like where this is going because they're building up the world. And I call it now. Nofumi is going to be getting a cause a revolution with the Queen, with her backing probably. Or it'll be something like that. I'll get to the Queen and they'll discuss something that they'll need to do to take the main city back from the King. Yeah, quotes. I can see what they're trying to do in this episode, that when Nofumi was finally getting someone to be obviously fight for him on his side, immediately they brought in the folk to shoot him down, like take the guy away from him. But I can gather what they're going to do is they're going to rescue Melty like they have, and that guy, and obviously the Lord of the region, and he'll be grateful. And then Nofumi will have him in his back pocket. So he's making very influential friends, helping him out and that, and you can see that Princess Mellonmark, she's trying to do something, build up a group of folk to help her, and Nafumi's building up his group to defend himself against them. It's gonna be an all-out war, basically. Oh, I can see it. Classing character with a scythe in the intro sequence. Can't wait to meet him because he looks pretty awesome. I guess we'll meet him in a later episode. Be interesting to see when the next wave happens. You know, like the hourglass thing that immediately teleports everyone that's way the heroes and that. It'll be interesting to see now if they've technically affected that to not summon Nofumi to where they are. Because this is going to cause problems, because unless the Queen has done something to the hourglass that stops Nofumi being in their vicinity, in their company, because I can tell what mine's going to do. She's going to either sabotage the hourglass that summons all the heroes and make it so that the devil of the shield, the hero of the shield, is summoned to them so she can do more shit to them. Pardon my French, but that woman just completely annoys the crap out of me. It wouldn't surprise me if they sabotage it to summon them so they can capture them. But it'd be pointless though if they do that. But then what Nofumi can actually do is if they don't time it right and they summon him, he could technically take the Queen with him and say, "Look, I'm about to be summoned to this next wave, but they've sabotaged the hourglass to summon me back to the capital to put me further down. Come with me a minute." And then he brings the Queen and all these influential people with him in the country, and then the king is completely owned and thrown out. And they're like, kind of, what they do with him is hopefully what I hope they do with the king. They either tell him to shut the fudge up, and stop being a nasty bugger to the shield hero. Because I mean, when he said that he's like, this can't happen again, I turned around and I was like, well, maybe if you weren't such a bugger to the shield hero to begin with, maybe you wouldn't have to do this to you. Because he's only retaliating to the king, because the king's done nothing but be bad to him, and kind of put him down, and do everything to him, everything he can to stop the shield hero from becoming more powerful. But in doing that, he's making the shield hero more powerful, gathering allies, and by the time it comes back to the big confrontation between Nefumi's army, as I'm calling it now, the king's not going to be absolutely doing anything. Because I can tell that the king is going to be dethroned by the fact that what he's doing, there's bound to be an official law thing in this world, obviously by the queen and that. I can see these shadow people, like these Anbu people, coming and saying to the king, you're now being sent to the gallows for what you've done. I mean, I know that's a bit extreme, and I just want the king to die because he's stupid enough to believe in his daughter's putting in his ears, pouring poison in his ears. And hopefully we see something like what happened with the previous shield hero, because obviously they're hitting at it, they're going, the king's like, not again. So obviously he has been known to be shitty towards the shield heroes and not to the other heroes that he quite likes. You notice how he's not giving this nonsense to the spear hero, because he's letting the spear hero do whatever he wants with his daughter. But anyway, Nefumi is building up again, which is good, which is very, very good. And I call it now, by the end of the series, it's going to be Nefumi's army versus the king and whoever's standing by his side. But anyway, like I said, that's for the next episode. And noodle poodle doozle, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't know when the next episode is. If it's a two-parter, it should be the following week. Yeah? Yeah. But the cat here, he's like, yeah, because he's been sitting watching him with me. No, I don't know that. I doubt that he understands what's going on with him. And on that note, I shall see you all guys later.